There's no such thing as grown-ups.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know.
I guess we can start the show.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you're Skyping to San Francisco, you're gonna meet some gentle people there, because there's no such thing as grown-ups. There's no such thing as grown-ups.com. Hello, my name is Curtis.
And I'm Tara.
And we have Alexandria Noel Butler, also known as Lexi B, founder of a whole entire website.
Yeah.
Dedicated to basically.
Us, pretty much, as near as I can tell.
Yeah.
thegrownuptruth.com. And Tara found her out and then called me at work to say, oh my God, I found somebody on the internet. And they had already found me first. And it's pretty magical.
Well, I think we share the same, just the exact same values, I think. It's exactly the same.
Actually, what happened was that my social media manager, she's always trolling for people who kind of talk about this stuff. And about, I want to say around Thanksgiving time, she found your website. And I'm really into creative people, and I love cartoons. I'm unfortunately not creatively savvy in the drawing world, but I love colors. And so she emailed me, and she's like, these people are really cool, and they draw, and I think you would like them. I was like, I really do like them. And so that's what happened.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, especially once I went to the site itself, it's like, oh, well, that sounds amazing. This is, definitely non-grown-ups. We're a bunch of wacky kids, and I play with toys all day long and Legos and make movies about it, and then go through it, and it's just what is the transition from backpack to young professional? Oh, well,
Yeah.
when I was this, and then I was that, and then, of course, grad school, I don't even know what grad school is. These people sound so smart. But then as I went through, the articles are incredible. I read a big, long article about, I want to say CSI SVU, Law and Order SVU.
Yeah.
And this guy had this whole thing, and just this whole, I don't know, I never would have even crossed my mind, but it talked about how there's all these rape kits that nobody ever checks. There's just hundreds of thousands. And I even like how he wrote that. It's hundreds period thousands. This is insane. And it's that is insane. Literally, I mean, it's already bad enough, in the news it is constantly hey, lots of people are just being abused and raped, and nobody even says anything because they're so scared. And then the ones that do say something, we put that on a shelf. It's too X-Files-y to be something as normal as whatever. But again, that's stemming from... I feel it again reminds me of us, baloney cups or whatever, going off on a crazy adventure story from one thing. Is this was about Law and Order SVU, and now I'm learning so much about the world, and I'm scared.
Right? And this sounds so probably immature, but I always tell people, Olivia Benson is my bestie. She doesn't know it yet, but Olivia Benson from Law and Order SVU is my bestie. I think she is the flyest person on cable right now. And I watch that show religiously. And it's funny because I'll actually quote the show. I learn about law via the show. And I'm like, well, actually, you can't do that. Because according to Olivia Benson, A, B, and C takes place. And so when our change editor brought the idea, I was like, that's a really great idea, because I think it is unfortunate that you have this woman who plays this character, and somehow when she's not on set, she's the leader of rape victims. And while that's great, that's also an issue. Mm-hmm. Why is no one discussing that other than the person who plays, a sex crime detective? I think that's a bigger issue in our society.
Yeah, that's what I loved about all the articles that I did go through. Again, that same thing that we talk about, where it is hey, stop just doing what you're told to do and do what makes sense, and just things like that, where it's until you're soaking in something, you're engrossed in it, even if it is I'm on a fake TV show about this crazy thing, it's still ripped from the headlines. Nobody really makes anything up anymore.
Yeah.
So it's again, I have that terrible thing, and we go through this all the time, where we watch horror movies, and it is I'm going to close my eyes and go to sleep now, because this is too much for me, because I have to think about what if this was real.
Exactly.
And so many things where it's well, we can extrapolate from that and get to these places where it's seems like a bunch of crazy hillbillies attacking college kids, but that happens. Maybe we should keep an eye out for, or whatever, pamphlets that go out there again, the gypsies of all the TLC shows when it's just like, I just want to go to these people and hug them and give them a pamphlet that says, it's okay to read. You don't have to
Thank
be.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It is okay to understand that the world is bigger than just you.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, actually. Think about it.
So if anybody wants to go, it's grownuptruth.com, and there's so many different things there, and I was blown away. I
wanted to know why did you start the site? Why did you?
That's a funny story. Well, what happened was that I actually graduated from college in 2011. I went to Stanford University, and again, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. So coming to Stanford was already a huge transition in itself. And it's funny when I say that to people, because people are like, well, everyone, St. Louis is in America, California is in America. And I'm like, yeah, but America is different when you cross state lines, like different cultures. And so I remember my freshman year having a culture shock, because I was like, wow, this is some different stuff, right? They're vegans in California. I'm from St. Louis. Cow is a vegetable. What's going on? All this different stuff. And so, and then I assimilated, right? College is great. You have all these people around you and everybody's kind of in the same awkward stage. So you're kind of awkward together and it's awesome. And then you graduate. And so for me, I was that kid in college that always had a goal. I'm still very type A. So I was always, walking towards this goal of going into fashion PR. That's what I wanted to do. And I was the rebel in school, because I went to a school that was focused on engineering and medicine. And so I was the kid where I was like, I don't want to be an engineer and I don't want to go into medicine.
That's the artist in you.
Exactly. So I'm going to go into the exact opposite direction, and I'm going to do fashion PR. And I worked really hard for that. And the summer before my senior year, I got this really cool internship at a major fashion house in New York. And it was hell. But hell in a good way. I always tell people it made me stronger.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it made me realize what hard work really is. And it made me realize, kind of take a step back and say, whatever you want in life, you're going to have to work for it and really work for it. And that's okay. And so I came back to school and I was looking for all these fashion jobs, and some of them I got, but they were like, look, we're going to pay you $25,000 to live in New York. And I'm like, well, unless I live with like Joe Hobo the Clown on the subway line, I don't know how this is going to work. Right?
I've seen CSI New York and Law and Order New York. I know how expensive it is. You got to be loading boxes and spotting bodies all day long to afford that.
Or those tiny apartments where it's just like a closet
Right?
and it's like $1,500 a month. Like,
Exactly. Basically, Sex in the City is wrong, right? I thought New York was Sex in the City. I thought I could be the Black Carrie Bradshaw. And I went to New York and I was like, yeah, Carrie lied. There is no way you can buy that many shoes on that budget. So I came back to school and I was really depressed, trying to figure out my life. And I remember just saying, I just need a job. So randomly, I got this job at a tech company, which of course is really weird, right? Because remember, I promised myself that I would never go into technology or engineering. And then I graduated from school, and then just kind of my life just ridiculously shifted. And from the outside, it looked like my life was great. I just got these 2 degrees from this great school. I had a job, I had an apartment, I had a car. And a lot of my friends didn't even have that. Finding jobs in 2011 was really tough from the 2009 crash. And so I really didn't speak about it. And I didn't speak about it because I didn't want people to think that I didn't realize my blessings, But I was just mentally going through it. And, my boyfriend and I broke up from college and just all this drama, right? And my friends moved away and I felt really alone. So one day my mom said, you know what, you should go see a therapist. And I was like, okay. And then I went to go see this therapist and I sat there and I was like, this woman is not telling me anything that I couldn't tell someone. So if she can get paid to tell people this, I should get paid to tell people this. Right? That's really what I thought.
I always love there's like, so many people, their favorite part of therapy is always realizing, I should just be doing this.
Right?
That's
and the woman was great. She's a really nice lady, and I actually still keep in touch with her. Not as my therapist, but just as kind of friends. We meet once a month, because I was just sitting there and I was like, this 45-year-old beautiful woman is not telling me things that are rocket science, and yet she's getting paid $100 an hour. There's something up with that. And so I started So I kind of put that idea away, and then I started just writing my thoughts down because I was like, I need to just get some of this anger and some of these questions out so I can go to work and be semi-productive so the check doesn't bounce and Sally Mae can get paid. And one day my blog was, 2 people were seeing it. It was grownuptruth.blogspot.com. And then within 5 months, 1,000 people were viewing it. And that's when I was like, yep, it's time to make a coin. And so in January 2014, around this time last year, I said, okay, so what do I need to do to make this a full-blown thing? What does it take to be a professional storyteller? Because I think I'm really good at telling stories. And I think I'm even better at getting people to tell their story. And that's kind of what happened. So yeah, and now we're here a year later.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing.
And it is like, you go through that site and there's so many people involved already, and it feels like, oh, well, a corporation obviously puts this together. And no, it's
all you.
This one voice.
That's amazing. No, that's amazing to bring everyone together. And I think it is exactly what you said. Like, you don't tend to share these things when you're having problems because you want to try to be positive and, have the people around you feel positivity, but sometimes shit happens.
Yeah, even worse, having somebody agree with you and go, yeah, you're right, everything is kind of terrible, give up. Oh, no.
But that's not what you need. You just need encouragement because things do happen. That's just life. Just, shit happens every day.
In the beginning of the transition, I remember I was talking to my parents and my mom, who's a teacher. She was like, so what's the point of this? And she said that. She's like, is the point for you to tell everybody life sucks? And I was like, no, because I don't think that life necessarily sucks all the time. But for me, the point is just to tell someone that you are not alone.
Right.
And that's a really big thing for me, even when I was little. And I think a lot of people deal with that, with this idea that I feel like I'm alone and it makes it worse. And it's like, no, you're not alone. And so the purpose for the other grown-up truth is to show people you're not alone. You're not alone about how you're thinking. You're not alone about how you're feeling. And it's okay to feel that way. And a lot of other people are feeling that way. And we may not be able to give you the solution, but at least we can virtually say, you're not alone. And if that makes you feel better a little bit, that's great.
Oh my God, I'm sure, I know it makes people feel good for sure. Just to know that, and hey, I'm having these same problems and it's okay. I don't have to pretend that I'm grown up now just because I'm over 20 or I'm out of school or whatever the case may be. You don't have to pretend that everything's great and, everything's just sunshine all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even just getting caught up in going from backpack to briefcase or whatever, and just getting stuck in the backpack part where a lot of people are even just, oh, I went to Stanford.
Yeah.
So it's okay, from TV perspective, I know that's how you that's a word that means important and better than other people sometimes. Mm-hmm. But to, a reasonable person, it's that's where I went to school and learned things, and now on to the next thing. But, it's so easy to just get caught in those, well, I achieved this. There's too many people I ran into in the run of a day where I'm at level X, so I'm done, right? No, that's the beginning. I mean, what are you going to do with that level X power, again, to go to the Warcrafts and, the video game things, like these guys level up forever. You don't do it so you can just be at that level. You want to wield the power that level guy has. I assume.
No, you're right. You're right. And it's so funny when I talk to people, and this is horrible. I am very proud that I went to Stanford. And it's not because of this elite idea that people have when I say that. But it's I'm proud of my school. I love repping Stanford football, and I love my Cardinal Red shirts, just like any kid who goes to a college who reps their school. And I think it is sad that I definitely get prejudged a lot when I say Stanford. People have these feelings about me. Last week I was at a school because I do a lot of seminars and workshops. And this is a middle school. And I didn't tell the kids that I went to Stanford. And we were playing around, having a good time. And then something happened where this little girl figured out that I went to Stanford. It must have been 7th grade. And these are 100 7th graders, which, by the way, is a completely different journey in itself. The struggle is real.
That sounds very scary.
It's very scary. And this little 7th grader in the middle of nowhere stands up and she's like, "You went to Stanford?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, you don't act like it. And then we had a 30-minute conversation about what that meant, right? What do people who go to Stanford act like? And they did all these little skits showing me about, people who go to certain schools and how they act. And it was really great, right? To tell these 7th graders that where you go to school does not make you. It is you who decides to make you. And very eye-opening, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so. A lot of people like it. Again, it just takes soaking in something to conform to it or whatever. Just having it in your face. Because like even just coming from where I came from, not even me actually. My cousin moved like I want to say an hour away from where we're from, and they had like a wedding or some kind of big party was there. And he was like, all right, cool. He's like, well, like the trunk party is at my car tonight or whatever, boys. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? And it's like, and I didn't know what he was talking about either. Like, I didn't go out drinking or to parties or anything when I was there. So he was just like, how when like you go to a place, you're not going to just buy booze at the bar that they have. That's expensive. So you put like a bunch of booze in the trunk of the car and then like somebody drives home or whatever. I assume they drive home drunk. But he's like, whatever, like, I got the booze. And everybody's just like, this is insane. And they're still like a bunch of, when you're trying to feed a squirrel, like, they'll take it, but then kind of like get away. Like, I want to do this. It sounds like a good idea. But are you sure we're supposed to just leave and go into the parking lot and get drunk? And the answer is no. But
exactly. No.
In reality, it's like that's what we grew up on is what's the loophole? What's the back door? You take a couple cans of pop into the movie theater type of thing. And just like, but this is already so close. And again, that full culture shock of just like, we don't do that here and we've never heard of it. And it's that close. But it's still just like, this is something we do. Like, like this is how we do things. You're not like us. Where we come from, it's just like you're still both the same, and then within an hour he's like, now everybody fills their trunk before parties in this town.
Now everybody knows about the trunk party.
Yeah, so it's like it's that easy to affect somebody with change or to be affected by them, and again not be stuck in your old like, well, I'm from here, so I'm going to be like this, or I'm not. Hey, new guy in town, we're not accepting. We know what Stanford people are like. You don't drink in the parking lot, but it's like, no, I can learn to drink in the parking lot.
We can all drink in the parking lot.
Anybody can do anything.
Curtis? I know a lot of Stanford people who would drink in the parking lot with you. I do.
I don't think I've ever drank in a parking lot.
I've drank in a parking lot.
This summer's quest.
Definitely drank out of trunks before.
Bucket list.
Wow.
Never been that adventurous of a drinker.
I wanted to talk about, yes, we can move to something, well, not that drinking isn't positive, but to a positive topic, I guess. Mm-hmm. We were talking, I was just thinking about yes, because when we, we're just met on Twitter and then we're just emailing, right away, I was just like, do you want to do this? Like, yes, right away. Like, yes, we want to do this. And it wasn't about like, how are we going to do this? Or is, what are the issues going to be behind the semantics of doing
talk to my
this?
People, or how much is this going to
Yeah,
pay?
it was just like, yes, we're going to do this. And I think that's an important part of being a non-grown-up is just saying yes to things.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you encounter tons of people pretending to be grown-up and their immediate answer is no to things, or
which honestly makes no sense to me, right? I have this one workshop that's actually called hashtag ratchet. And one of the things in the workshop that we call at Grown Up Truth, hashtag ratchet, is when you just say no for no reason, right?
Oh my God.
I always tell people, I'm just like, if this is your life, right? You only have one life to live. And it's weird to me. I turned a year older on December 27th, so less than 4 weeks ago. And I woke up that morning and I was
happy
like,
birthday. Happy belated
you.
birthday.
I was like, I have one life to live, right? I will never be the age that I was last year. And as cheesy as that sounds, that's a very daunting realization. And so I always advise to people and tell people, why not say yes if you want to do it?
Yeah.
Never say yes with the pretense of, I'm not really into it. I kind of don't want to do it. If you don't want to do it, then you can always respectfully say no. But I feel like if you want to do something, never be scared to tell someone or ask someone, because the worst thing they can do is say no. But if you decide to say yes, I think it's important to be fully committed to that yes.
Definitely.
Nobody wants somebody to half-ass anything. That's
Oh,
just
yeah,
dumb.
for sure.
Right? So if you're going to say yes, be committed. Be committed. And don't be scared to ask. Because the worst thing anyone can tell you is no. And you'll live. I promise you.
Oh,
You'll
my
live.
God, yeah. That's a big
So-
thing because it's, you know,
Yeah.
just the fear, and you get these things built up in your head of, they're going to say this, or this is going to happen, and this, and this, and this, and this, and that. But you're never going to know until you just try.
Yeah.
Ask.
Well, when I was in that group therapy anxiety thing or whatever, there was this older lady that was in there, and that was exactly what her thing's like. Well, I'm not getting any younger.
Oh, my God. Now you're telling therapy.
Now, tell therapy stories, which was just another podcast, and it was fun. But yeah, like this one lady, that was her thing. She's like, I would love to go and learn to ride a motorcycle. I've always wanted to do that, but my husband, thinks I'm like this. My family thinks I'm like that. Plus, I'm not getting any younger, and it's just like exactly. So why not then? And I mean, I really caused a lot of trouble in that group just being like, yeah, go for it. Like before the actual therapist would say things like, I got a great idea. Do that thing you've always wanted to do. That's what I'm doing all the time. I'm just also scared. So I'm here and trying to figure out what's going on, and seeing how afraid you guys are of everything else. I realize I'm just looking at stuff and making observations. I'm not really that afraid. I better leave. And then she did. She went out. She started riding her motorcycle. She left that husband who was like giving her so much flack for doing stuff. And she became this like, it was a Stella got her groove back. It was a Thelma and Louise. Like she was so happy. And I'm just like, wow. I kind of wish I wanted to like ride a motorcycle. Like she really inspired me to want to do something. And in between that time was the same time when you got me to swim with sharks there. And it's like going back to therapy, going like, okay, like remember how this like. More or less because of you and that motorcycle, like, yeah, I eventually said yes, and I'm normally saying no. And even
I just made you say yes.
Yeah, so over that summer is when I started saying yes to things even more, and now we literally do improv, and I listen to a lot of improv stuff, and they talk about the whole, like, yes and just yes-ending things instead of saying no. And even if you're not saying, yes, I'll do that, but yes, and or what about something else?
Right.
It just carries on conversations. It keeps life like going and life alive rather than, like, no, that'll probably get us killed.
Yeah. Like, I'll be honest. I'm not going to be saying yes to swimming with sharks anytime soon.
Yeah.
I don't believe in all that. I always tell people, I saw The Lion King. Lions are real. Like, they win. But I also find it interesting that I think it's the lack of confidence, right? I was talking to a friend of mine about this last night, and I said, because she asked me, she said, what makes you think, what makes, in your opinion, what stops young professionals from doing things? And I said, well, I think that if you approach a situation where you immediately assume someone's going to say no, then why would you ask them? That's dumb, right? If your mind is like, I'm not good enough, or they're probably going to say no, then your mind kind of tells you it's a waste of time and even asking. And so I had to kind of get over that hump. But I never really had that hump because growing up, I was involved in Broadway and theater. And so from the age of 8, I was always in a situation where someone was telling me no. And whether that be a good thing or a bad thing to the child's psyche, I've known rejection since I was 8 or 9 years old because of the activities I did, right? I would go to multiple auditions and get one. And so I had to learn this very hard concept that just because someone says no to you does not make you less than. It just means no, right?
Yeah.
And there is that confidence that's lacking in the millennial experience. Yeah.
Oh, I totally agree.
Well, there's too much of, I mean, I don't know, like, again, like all of my dad's stories were very much that. We're literally like, hey, go rake that yard, and him and his brother... I mean, they were planning to run, but like my grandfather was also sitting there, like with a giant boulder in his hand, going, like threatening to throw stuff at them, like you better not run. And it's like, so what do you do with that life other than just look for different avenues to find out how to be whatever it is? And he traveled, he did a lot of things with his life, and most of it just because of that. Where it's like, well, I'm not going to sit here and let this crazy old man throw boulders at me when I'm doing what he asked me to do. So it's like you can't make people happy. It's super impossible. So you gotta try your best, and if they're not, like, that's on them after a certain point. Like I make video games. If you don't like my video game, like, sorry, I'll make another one, but there's only so much I can do. I can't please everybody. It's just a video game.
Yeah.
But
I think what it comes down to is everybody just all the people that are saying no, they're only saying that to themselves.
Exactly.
The only reason that they're saying no is because they think they couldn't do it. So because if they couldn't do it, you can't do it. But that's not true at all. So
yeah,
it's always
people
crazy.
need to, and this is going to sound really blunt, but people need to get over it.
Yeah,
you need to get over it because you don't want to be 75 years old and you're like, I regret half my life. It's not worth it. It's not.
Oh, there's too many. Like, again, when my dad was, like, literally on his deathbed, like, saying that to me, he's like, these people keep coming in. I don't even feel that bad right now. And they're just doing the, like, oh, you never went to Florida, Ernie. You never made it to Florida. I never wanted to go to Florida, buddy. Like, no, but yeah, like, well, you might have time. Like, if I wanted to go to Florida, I would have gone to Florida. Like, do you want to go to Florida? You better go to Florida before you end up in a bed like this. And he'd be the one saying that to people, like, stop coming in here and telling me what I missed out on when you're also here just to hear all of my crazy stories and adventures. And it's just, yeah, like, I don't know, like, being witness to that time and time again. I mean, everybody he knew came and went, and just watching him basically, like, pretty much before I go, buddy, start taking care of yourself. Live your life. All right, see you later. Like, one after another. And it's just, and these were, like, old guys, too, some of them were, like, way older than him. And he's still like telling them, like, you better start living your life like I did already, and I'm half your age. Like, and there's just too many people that are just not doing it. Like, and again, like, what makes me still feel like jealous and scared about your site is just like these people all still feel like half my age, and they have already
and they already know the answers.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh,
damn
geez.
it!
Yeah, it's like
they figured it out.
I'm 15 years late already, and in the start living your life, guys.
yeah.
That's the best part, though, is at any age you can start doing it.
Yeah, and to be frank, I don't know if they know the answers. I think they fake it till they make it. I mean, because people tell me, like, Lexi, you know the answers. And I'm like, no, I'm just faking it. And I fake it well.
Even better.
I fake it really well.
It's mostly, it's just like, no, I'm okay with questions. If they come up, I'll figure them out. And if I have them, I'll ask them. And that's really, like every kid that came to me that was dropping out of the college, they would go to teachers and be like, all right, goodbye. And then they stop in my office and Tara's office and break down and cry and say all the things that they love about learning and what we did. And it's just like, yes, that's the good part. Like, I am not a great teacher, and I need to leave too because I don't really believe in this amount of structure. Whatever you want to learn, again, like, I grew up without the internet, so I did have to wait for a college to teach me how animation worked. And now it's like, whatever you want to do, man, Google it, YouTube it, you're good to go. And then you can, like, and it's just like that old, I don't know, like Freaks and Geeks, like that old hippie guidance counselor guy. It's just like, that's not a weird, dumb thing anymore. It's just like, hey, man, just do it. Like, it's just so possible now that it's ridiculous not to do it.
That's the answer.
I say go for it. Go for it.
Everyone's heading to the iTunes store, subscribing and rating and so much more. Oprah gives away hundreds of cars. Stop by your iTunes and give 5 stars. Tell your friends, and tell your hot mom. There's no such thing as grownups.com.
There's too many things.
Have you ever done improv before?
Me? Yes. But like I said...
Awesome. Yes, we lucked out.
Sketchfest is going on right now.
What?
Sketchfest is going on right now in San Francisco.
No way.
Every podcast we listen to is there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Mike missed All You Do was last week. He missed them.
That's going to be on our thing to go do, I think. We definitely have to go to San Francisco for sure.
It's really fun. I will say this. I haven't done it in a long time, so I'd probably be bad at it if I did it now. But it's really fun. And like I said, from my theater background, I used to do that all the time, right? Because I always tell people improv, while it's fun, there's a reason behind it. There's a reason someone who's probably dead made it up and made actors do it before they went on stage. But it's weird. I think that everyone should do improv. I was talking to an HR person, in October, and we had this really deep conversation. And I was like, you should make your people do improv. And she thought I was crazy. And I was like, no, I'm serious. Like, you should make your people at your corporate job do improv. It'd be really entertaining to watch. But it would also, improve that idea that just say what you feel, say how and just go for it.
Oh, yeah.
It's important.
Well, it helps people's minds up. It'll open up so easily, I find, just because it is like play pretend. And when you're
Yeah.
playing pretend, you reach into the deeper part of your mind that you're just not using all these thoughts and words you don't normally think about. When it is like, oh yeah, I used to have a word of the day calendar. There's all those words. Like, or
I
whatever.
can use them for improv.
Yeah, like just pulling things out, and yeah, it is weird. Like again, that other podcast we talk about, Quadcast, and they talk about us, but they're like, oh, they do little skits and they role play and stuff, and it's just like, yeah, how do you get through the day without pretending stuff? I don't, even at work, like the guys will say something and I will go off in a different way where it's like, well, I expect you guys to come with me. But I'm the only crazy person here, I guess. That's just having a game of pretend. But,
So you're the only one going.
yeah,
Nobody's following.
At least when Mike's not there, I'm just a weirdo. But when Mike is there, he'll come along.
Yeah.
Whether he knows what's going on or not. But also, yeah,
I love it.
Now that Mike has an apartment in San Francisco, he said we can stay there and to do the show.
We'll be there even sooner.
There
Our
we go.
dreams are coming true. Oh my gosh.
It's all aligning.
Yeah, but when you guys come down, let me know. We should definitely link up, hang out.
For sure. Oh my gosh. We're going to be
Yeah.
stalking you now.
I'm serious. It's going to be so much fun. And we could do improv in like random places.
Oh, that'll be great. Oh, yeah. All right, people. Next year, go to patreon.com and support us.
Yes, you guys support us. And then
Send us to San Francisco.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so you had a premise. What was it? We're going to pitch.
Oh yeah, so you want to do we could do a little improv now. We thought maybe, oops,
Okay.
you'll be good at this though because you'll be playing you.
Oh, okay.
It's
let's
not
do
a far. You'll be well. It could be pretending that you'll be an editor of an online magazine, and we're just pitching you our crazy idea of just about an article, just about yes.
Okay.
Our great ideas.
Our great
Okay.
ideas. Are we calling or are we just
Let's go to the office. Knock, knock.
Okay.
Hello, Mrs. B.
Yo, what's up?
We're here to pitch an article
We have the best idea ever.
weekly.
I'm so excited to hear it.
Excellent.
Tell
we
me
love
about
it. Okay, so let's sit down.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
Okay.
down.
Nice and nice chairs.
It's all about yes.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
like yes. It's about saying yes to things and like
So what are we saying yes to? Because we could be saying yes to a lot of things, half of them very inappropriate.
that's true.
So-
Not inappropriate things. So I think we should specify
Okay.
that. Not inappropriate things.
Okay. Okay.
But everything. I mean, it's a thing that you can't say no to because it's about yes, so you have to say yes. So I mean, we're already coming in guns blazing. So whatever people want to know about, we say yes. Like that's what it is. Hey, what does a ham sandwich taste like with a donut on it? Yes,
Yes,
we'll try that.
we're gonna do that.
We'll write that article. We will give you 12 pages on a donut ham mix up. We could do that. There's two of us, so 6 pages each. The math is really easy. We're really good at like dividing things up between ourselves because we also say
You
yes.
could take the Y part. I could take the ES part
There we go. We have great ways of dividing things up.
and then put it together.
Wow. Okay.
So,
So why do you want to do this?
mostly for the money, I'm thinking.
Money.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Always
Money.
get your coin. I completely agree with you.
There you go.
But are there any other reasons?
See, you're even saying yes. So I think
Yes.
it's a yes.
Yes. To the
Yeah.
dress. We'll say yes to the dress as well. If that's what you
Yes
want,
to
if
the
that's
dress.
what you need, whatever gets us that $10,000 a week.
Let's do it.
All
now
right.
we just got to figure out what we're going to write about, but I'm down. I'm down for the cause.
I
Let's
heard.
do it.
We're just not no. As long as it's not no.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yes, let's do it.
It'll be yes.
We'll just figure out the logistics, but let's do it. Yes.
I don't like where this is going. It feels like
She's
one of those
saying
3
yes.
yeses make a no kind of thing.
3 yes to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I came in here. I had high hopes. I wanted to write articles. Now it feels like it's about the articles and saying yes.
It
and not
does
about-
feel like it's all about the money, I think.
Yeah.
It
Well,
feels
I
too
mean,
much about the
technically-
money.
Technically, you brought up the money, but my thing about it is, I am
Yes.
always down for grown people getting their legal coin and doing what they're passionate about. So I say yes to the whole thing, and then all we have to do is figure out what we're going to write about, because ham sandwiches and donuts, not my style. That sounds disgusting. But like, if you wanted to do the cronut, totally down.
All right, whatever it is. I don't like.
Cronuts on turkey sandwiches.
Whatever. Yes. Yes, I'm saying yes. I don't like that. I don't like most sandwiches.
I'm going to say yes to it either,
But
but
that's what
I
we started doing.
don't like most things either, but the yes, it's just about the yes.
I mean, it all started. We said yes to some cocaine this morning, so now we're just saying yes all over the place. So anyway, if you could point us to the nearest bathroom and a couple of mirrors, that would be fantastic.
And we'll get right on that article.
So yeah, and then if you could front us the first $10,000 and then the second $10,000, then we will definitely get on that first article for sure. And
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Now that might not be 100% yes, but again, we can discuss those specifics.
I think that sounds like
she was way too agreeable. She just wants her coat. Let's get out of here. Door slam.
Oh my god, that was perfect.
Oh wow! Yeah, so many people are going to be pitching you ideas now. You're way too easy.
I know it's going to be.
Do you have your own podcast? You have like a great voice. Oh my gosh.
The funny thing is that I've been thinking about starting my own podcast because people always tell me that I say the most ridiculous things, and so I'm still deciding how I want to do that because I just don't know if I'm funny by myself. So I need to find like other people to get involved.
Oh yeah, you just need the one extra person. Like when I started this, it was literally, I mean, just doing it in the office and just complaining about things, but I can't just complain. I have to put a weird twist on it so I can make it fun. And then we started finding out what podcasts were, and then Mike, the same Mike again. It's just like, we should record this. This is the show. Like, no, I don't talk out loud in front of people. Like this is confined to the office. And that's all it took. It was like, no, we're going to record it. We'll just put it up on a blog spot. And that's the internet. You're a podcast now. And you already have the venue, the thing to put it up with. And I had to put a place to put it. And then, just grab that one person. And, that's all I needed was Mike to talk at. And just like this, just having somebody.
Well, she could just come on here all the time, too.
Or,
I think that's a better idea.
Yeah, just do the once a month over here.
Yeah. So, Curtis, I'm just going to have to find my Tara, and then I'll be straight, right? And that's what you're saying.
Yes.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So many people. That's the craziest thing about our life is when people do meet us, they don't usually say I got to find my Curtis. They're always saying I got to find my Tara. Even people in my family who are already married are still like, I got to find my Tara. Your husband's in the room. Yeah, but he's no Tara.
Yeah, that should be a shirt. That should be a shirt. I got to find my Tara. That's great. That's awesome.
Oh my god, yeah, we got to make that.
Put that in the notes. But yeah, it's you'd be surprised, especially even if you don't want to do the recording. The best way is to find somebody who's like, oh, I just got all this recording gear and I don't know what to record or
What
who
to
to
say,
record.
yeah.
And then you just slide in and go, hey, guess who's coming to your house once a week? Done like dinner.
Exactly. I love it. It's a great idea. I'll keep you updated. So I'm thinking about it. We'll see.
Yeah, never. It's for the most part a free thing to do. So there's never turn.
Well, it's the same thing, except it's the same thing to get your ideas out there and be able to have your voice. Except you really have to use your voice. Or get to use your voice.
Yes,
that's the best.
Exactly. So yes, once again, I'm saying yes. I just had to figure out the details, but I'm saying yes.
And is there anything you want to tell anybody? Plugs or whatever, or just grownuptruth.com?
Go to thegrownuptruth.com, like it on Facebook or like it on Twitter, or I guess not like it on Twitter, follow it on Twitter. All these social media terms, let me tell you.
Hashtag it
right?
on Twitter today.
We're gonna have our part of our manifesto.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be on.
We'll
there.
be on there. Yeah.
Yes. Starting this Friday. Yes.
We're talking about how to question authority. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Just question it.
How to raise a stink quietly but confidently.
I got the article today and I read it and I was like, wow, you guys just said everything that I've always wanted to say, just in a much more respectful manner.
Yeah, once you take that first pass and get all the swears out,
yeah,
respectable and nice.
As after edited, yeah,
limited to 2 F-bombs. But I was like, wow, my brain is just sexified. It's appropriate. But yeah.
I guess that's another show. I want to thank you so much. Again, I'm still scared to death. I still feel like there's so much I should have asked and should have done. So yeah.
Well, we're just gonna we'll have her back. That's all there is to it, because there's not enough time to talk about all the grown-up truths that everyone needs to know for sure.
And just, the amount of things you've skimmed over that are the giant encompassing background of your life of theater school and the New York.
We'll find out more. We will.
Yeah. It's like there's
if there's anything we do is we have the same guests repeatedly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you and Keith will be in the top.
Yeah, you're only our second guest on here
Yep.
that we've ever.
Yeah. So me and Mike will come back again. There you go.
Done and done. So this has been another show, and no such thing as grown-ups.com,
Yep.
Facebook, iTunes, all that stuff, and of
Yeah.
course, read everything that this lady puts together.
Thank you so much. It was great being here.
Thank you.
Everything's okay. I'm just trying.
Hey, non-Patreons. In today's Patreon after show, patronage episode, we talked about the Maple Syrup Festival. Maybe somebody tries not to go and is forced by a maniac? I don't know. Things happen. It gets crazy. We talk about the economy a bit, how stress can make you poor even though you're rich, and how you can be a rich poor person, and how your shoulders work. Other podcasts. Quadcast, of course, we always talk about, and who our major funders are. Also, that's Quadcast. Spoiler alert.
And secrets. After show secrets.
Oh, there's so many after show secrets. If you wanted to know secrets about
us.
let's call it something that you wear under your clothes, we got those secrets. And more.
Musical intros and outros by Brad Sucks.